Hi everybody! My name is Danny Wells and I am an independent consultant with Arbonne International and Regional Vice President. It is Sunday the 21st of May 2017 and I just want to give a massive welcome to everybody on the call tonight. This is our weekly area team training. Huge welcome for you that have got on live to the call tonight, and a massive welcome to anybody that has come on for the first time tonight, because believe me, I know what it's like trying to use Zoom and trying to figure it all out. A massive welcome to you guys for figuring it out. Huge respect. So we are really lucky tonight because we've got a guest speaker on our call, which I'm personally absolutely ecstatic about. It's going to be my sponsor. So the person that introduced me to the business, so you guys may have heard me speak about Emma Dickinson. Emma introduced me to the business when I first started nearly 3 years ago now. And Emma was due to come on our call a little while ago and share a bit about her story and a few of her top tips. But for certain personal circumstances, I think Ellis was poorly, I think she wasn't able to, which was such a shame, but obviously she needed to be where she needed to be. But we've managed to rebook her in before she goes on her holiday, so it's really exciting. So Emma's going to share with us everything that you guys want to know about her, and then if there's time at the end, she says she's happy to take any questions. So I'm really, really excited. Please welcome Executive District Manager Emma Dickinson.
Hello.
Woo!
Hi. Okay, thank you for having me on your call, Danny. I feel quite privileged to be on your call, so thank you very much. So yeah, it was probably about a year ago when we originally booked to do this, and Ellis, bless him, ended up in hospital poorly that night, so we had to cancel. And we kind of decided, oh, let's give it another go. So, as Danny said, I am Emma Dickinson. I'm an executive district manager, soon to be area manager, soon to be regional vice with Arbonne International, and I started my business 3 years ago now, and I have a very, very different story to Danny. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I used to be a teaching assistant in a special needs school, which I absolutely loved, but for anybody that knows, working in education isn't very good money. So in order to fund the lifestyle that I wanted, I had another 2 jobs. So I also worked most evenings in a chip shop and at the weekends in a coffee shop. And this helped me to fund a very nice car and a bit of a girl racer lifestyle. I then fell pregnant with my first child and quickly realised that I wasn't going to be able to work the 60 hours a week I was working across 3 different jobs. So started to look for something else, but failed miserably for quite a while in finding something that was going to suit me as a mum, that was going to earn me lots of money at the same time. So I did go back to the chip shop a couple of nights a week, and I went back to the school a couple of days a week. If anybody knows about cost of childcare, it just wasn't going to cover my childcare bills if I went back full time. So I had to go back part time, which was such a shame because I did really enjoy my job. And what I found, being part time in a school, I wasn't having the same effect on the children that I was when I was full time, and I just didn't seem to be getting as much out of them. I wasn't the go-to teaching assistant anymore. And I didn't really feel much like part of the team anymore with the other staff. So I would come in and say, oh, what did I miss at the end of last week? And they would say, no, nothing much. And that would be about as much communication as I would get, which was really frustrating. So my passion for my job started to dwindle a little bit. I still enjoyed it, but it just wasn't as good being part-time. So I tried my hands at Ann Summers. That wasn't really for me. It was convenient in the respect that I got to do work when I wanted to do work, but that was about as far as the convenience went. So then one day I'd also been fortunate enough to find myself another part-time job in a creche at Stafford Park, which some of you might be familiar with. So it's a big fancy hotel, and it's got a gym, and there is a creche there that's open to the members where they can go and leave their children while they go and work out and join in with the classes or go to the spa. And so I worked there, and I was able to take my son with me, which was really handy. And there was a mum there that I had got to know. her son was actually my son's best friend at the creche. And you may well know her name, it's Zoe Allen. And shortly after all of this, I left the creche and had my second child, so my daughter Emily. And I was having a nose on Facebook, as you do, stalking people. I was stalking Zoe Allen, which was a bit of a no-no. I was a member of staff, and she's a mom, and you know, most nurseries and creches won't allow you to thingy, but I wasn't working there anymore. So I added her, and she, to my surprise, accepted. And I discovered that she was in Vegas working around the pool, like watching her children, and all she had was a laptop. And I was like, I just need a job where all I need is my laptop. That would just be perfect. And I was like, I wonder what she's doing. So I messaged another name that you might be familiar with, Laura Leggett. She was a mutual friend of ours, and she also worked at the creche with me. And I said, I don't suppose you know what Zoe Allen's doing? And she said, yeah, I do actually. Let me tell you all about it. And that's where it all began, because Laura had also joined Arbonne, and so she came to tell me all about it. So this is the power of social media, and this is the power of lifestyle on social media. If I had seen Zoe selling products, I wouldn't have even asked. I wouldn't have been interested if I thought there was any selling involved. But what I saw was her working with a laptop, watching her children around a pool. And that, to me, was the lifestyle that I wanted. That's what attracted me. So that's why a lot of us say, you know, make sure your social media is all about your lifestyle and not so much about the products. Although, be proud to be representing Arbonne, by all means, and I absolutely am. I don't hide away from the fact that I'm an Arbonne consultant, but the lifestyle is the biggest thing to be certainly promoting on your social media. So anyway, Laura came over, told me all about Arbonne, and it sounded amazing. I really, really wanted to join. And one of the things that I found was I didn't have a spare £56 to join, and some people might relate to this. But what I realised was if I never did anything different, I would probably never have a spare £56 to do anything. So I had to make a few changes. I decided not to go to my pole dancing lessons for the rest of that month. Stopped shopping at Asda and went to Aldi instead, and I sort of pull in a little extra cash to get my £56 to join, which was all well and good. And I didn't even place my 150 order. Now, we will really, really, as consultants, try to tell you how important it is to be doing your 150 order. Now, let me tell you, I have done my 150 every month since, but I've heard consultants say if they're not going to do their 150, don't sign them up. They're not worth it. They're not serious. But I can tell you, I'm a lifer. I've been here for 3 years, and I'm very much serious. I just genuinely didn't have the money to do my first order that month. So love your consultant for where they're at. If they are just making, you'll be able to tell if somebody's making up excuses, but I genuinely couldn't afford it. And I made sure every month after that, I budgeted enough money so that I could do my 150. And it became a priority. And this is another thing. So when I was paying my bills, when I got paid, my wages, my tax credits, some of it went out to bills. And then what a lot of people do is they say, right, I'll see how much money I've got left at the end of the month and I'll put an order in with that. No, this is your business. Make sure your business goes first. So you pay yourself first by placing your Arbonne order when you're paying the rest of your bills. That's like your priority. And then you budget what's left after your Arbonne order. So that was one of the things for me. And I was a bit of a slow starter. So I started off not really knowing what I was doing. I immediately went on holiday straight after I'd signed up, and started reading a book called The 45-Second Presentation, or Own Your Life. So some of you may be familiar with this book, and it talks about the numbers in network marketing. And at the time, we sort of tried to build a bit of a business with that and tried to say sort of no selling. And it was all very trial and error. And I have to say, for you guys that are in Arbonne now, it's so good because we know what we're doing, But 3 years ago, we didn't have a clue what we was doing, and it was a bit of a problem because we was trying lots of different systems. And now, thankfully, your amazing regional vice president, Danny Wells, has got a perfect system in place. So there's no trial and error anymore. Just do what's already working. So anyway, we trialed and errored a few different things at the time, and I started talking to Danny Wells, and she was a good friend of mine already. We have children that's got like a month between them, so we've been going to play groups for a while, and we originally met years and years ago at the Air Cadets, and I remember Danny being a corporal back then, so she's always been a good leader. She was great, bless her. So yes, I introduced Danny. Now at the time I was a little bit, I knew I wanted to do Arbonne and I trusted it, but I wanted to figure out what I was doing before friends. So I didn't actually approach Danny. I was hoping, Danny was on my list, but I was hoping for some non-friends to join me to start off with, because I wanted to practice, if you like, so that when it came to sponsoring my actual friends, I knew what I was doing and I'd know I'd get it right with them. But anyway, I put a post out onto Facebook and Danny responded, and I was like, actually, what the hell, let's just go for it now. I don't need to practice, you know, we'll figure it out together. And that's exactly what we did. But Danny, as you all know, was massive into her learning, and she just stuck a rocket to her mum and went for it. So within 4 months of Danny joining, and so 6 months into my business, she actually pushed me into district manager qualification. I think we completed it in 2 months, didn't we? And I had a little bit of help with doing the 1000 PQV, because I had no idea what I was doing still at this point, and Danny was flying. So there was me and Danny who was literally pulling in all of the QV. And I kept trying, but I was very, how do you put it? I thought I knew best. And I often hear this all the time now from like regional vice presidents and national vice presidents. When you go to all the trainings, you'll quite often hear them saying they will openly admit they thought they knew everything, and they did not think that they needed to do personal development. And I was one of those people. I had been, having been a teaching assistant, I was used to leading a class. Also at the chip shop, I quite often was given management roles, and also ran his coffee shop. So I felt like I had like leaders experience. I did not. I had management experience, but not leaders experience. So because of that, I really struggled to look up to my upline as leaders and management. Now when I look back, they were amazing and they were learning, but I thought I knew best. And this was really difficult for me at the time to accept about myself. And that's when I realised I needed to do some serious personal development. So Zoe Allen introduced me to The Secret. This was what opened my world to personal development. So I would strongly recommend this. And I sat and listened to it, and I think literally every 10 seconds I was like, whoa, like so many eye openers. And it was like, gosh, I really need to sort myself out. And oh my God, I've attracted this into my life. And oh no, I've attracted this into my life. And it was just such an eye-opener, and I realised that I'd spent so much time focusing on what Danny was doing and trying in my head to not let her overtake me, that I wasn't actually doing anything in my own business. So on New Year's Eve, I was actually in Germany. I decided to take my partner to Germany for the New Year's. He's ex-military, and his best friend was serving out there. So I said, oh, let's go and see him. My partner was starting his own traditional business in the March, so 3 years later. So we knew with committing to a traditional business that we probably wouldn't have holidays for a couple of years. You know, he needed to get the business up and running. So I treated him to, and this was what was really nice as well, this was my Arbonne money. So although I was a district manager and I wasn't doing an awful lot myself, Danny was doing really well. And at this point, her central was huge. And if you don't understand central and everything, you'll get to grips with it eventually. So I got a nice little paycheck that enabled me to take my partner to Germany, which I hadn't done before, and I was really grateful for that. But then New Year's Eve, I sort of checked on Facebook, and Danny had gone into area qual, which initially I was so like amazed for her and so happy for her. But if you've ever been in a situation where you're really happy for somebody else, but at the same time really gutted for yourself, and that's where it was. And so I started off happy for her and then gutted for myself. And then it kept like going like this the whole time. So over the next few weeks, I was like happy for Daniela, gutted because it wasn't me, happy for Daniela, gutted because it wasn't me. And it was such a yo-yo. But around this time, I did start sponsoring again. So up until now, I hadn't sponsored anybody else. I'd been trying and failing and doing a lot of things wrong. And I was finally starting to sponsor. So Danny, as we all know, carried on growing her business, and she was doing amazing. And she completed area within a couple of months. And this is when I decided to let go of Danny. There was nothing I could give Danny. She had learned so much more than me so quickly, and I had to let go of the mentality that I was her sponsor and that I was her upline. If anything, she was becoming a mentor to me. She was inspiring me, she was teaching me, and I started to switch from really disliking this to just watching Danny quietly, and just in my mind I was starting my business from scratch. So this is nearly a year in, and I've promoted an area manager, but I have decided at this point to start my business from scratch, and that's exactly what I did. So again, another thing you may or may not be familiar with, when you promote, you have a balance. So as a district manager, you have to turn over 2,500 QV each month. And if you don't, it comes out of your balance. Now, again, Danny had left me a nice big bank balance that I basically ate into. I was hardly doing any QV, and I had 1 month left. And again, I still hadn't really taken responsibility for my business. I was still a bit blaming other people. And Laura Leggett, bless her, really helped me out. I wasn't far off maintaining, but she helped me out. She got another order, and she's like, I'll put it through your account because you are so close to maintaining. And I'm still so grateful for that. So she helped me to maintain on my last month, and then from then on I had it myself. So it wasn't until a year later I was actually maintaining district manager myself, and this is when I actually consider myself becoming a district manager. So although Daniela made me a district manager within 6 months, it was actually 12 months for me, because that's when I was doing it by myself without her. And then from there, we've never really gone up from there. So we've always been at sort of maintenance level, either just below or just above. So between 2,000 and 3,000 QV. And as you all know how Arbonne works, people come into Arbonne and people leave Arbonne. And so a lot of the people that have come in have joined and they've done good, or they've not done so good. They've wanted to learn, or they've not wanted to learn. And so my team has always stayed around about the same size. Now, actually, on my stats, if you have a look on my stats, my district is huge. And the amount of people that are officially in my team, I should probably be a regional vice president. But I have a lot of people, but not all are taking it seriously yet. But I know, because of where I was, that they might want to take it seriously one day. So I'm always there for them, and I always will be. And I know that they want it. But for now, they have just got to keep on doing the personal development like I did until they were in a position where they were ready to take their business seriously. So for a long time, I thought I was taking my business seriously, and I really wasn't. I thought I knew best and all the rest of it. So once I decided to take about 6 months out to just purely focus on personal development. So I was maintaining my district comfortably with the clients that I had built up over the 2 years and the team that I'd built up. It was just becoming comfortable to maintain. And so I'd had another baby, so I now have 3 children. And I decided while he was young, I was literally going to focus on reading as much as I could and learning as much as I could. And I think that is where everything started to change, because then I really did know what I was doing. It was no longer I thought I knew what I was doing. I genuinely did. And the funny thing about it is my confidence went from me thinking I knew it all, where I was so confident, to when I did actually know it all. And I you know, I've been in this business 3 years now, and my confidence is much lower. And that's because I've been through such a roller coaster. Also, I think having children, your confidence just automatically disappears anyway, you know, along with half of your friends. It's like, bye. So it's been a real roller coaster ride. But what I wanted to talk to you about was about being a lifer. So although I am not going very fast, I have always consistently tried, always. So I've always been trying my best, and that is all you can ever do. So my best a year ago was not as good as my best now, if that makes sense. But all you can ever do is the best to your ability. So my goal is always to grow and always to keep on growing, so that my best becomes higher. Now, my goals are high, and I don't get depressed when I don't hit my goals. I just keep getting better as a person until I am the person that is able to achieve those goals. So over the last year or so, I've been very aware of the fact that this business, I'm not entitled to anything. Like at the beginning when I thought, I was entitled to this and I should have been receiving that. More recently, I've been feeling like I have to work for it, as we actually do. And so, sorry, I've completely lost track of what I was saying. So over the last year or so, I've been very aware of the fact that I'm slow, and I've been accepting of that, of myself. So although I've had excuses, they're not been excuses, if that makes sense. So when people say, oh, why aren't you a regional vice president yet? It has completely been down to choice, because I have chosen not to commit as much as Daniela has, for instance. I have chosen to spend more evenings at home, or I have chosen to sit and read a book rather than listening to an audio call of some sort. I have chosen to take my daughter to dancing on a Saturday instead of going to district manager training. I have chosen for a very long time to put my family first, because that's where I wanted to be and that's what I wanted to do. But some people will try and use it as an excuse, like, oh, I can't do this because I have children. But mine isn't I can't, it's because I have chose not to, because I've got children. Whereas now I'm starting to turn over to change things again, and I'm starting to want to commit more. So whereas a year ago I really wasn't comfortable with being out all of the time and leaving my children, now I'm starting to crave the sort of success more than I want to be at home with the children. So my mindset has changed. So I'm starting to choose to be out more and choose to be more committed to my business and choose to not feel guilty as well. Because at one point, if I was on my phone, I would be feeling guilty for it because I wasn't focusing on whatever else I should have been focusing on. But now I know, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks I'm doing while I'm on my phone, but I know when I'm on my phone, I'm doing business. Whether I'm networking with somebody, trying to, become friends with somebody, whether I'm posting actual business posts or whatever I am doing, I know that it is driven by the fact that there could be an Arbonne consultant there. There could be an Arbonne client there. So the guilt has now gone. And because the guilt has gone, it's really funny. we assume a lot of things. So I know for quite a long time, I would assume that my partner was peed off with me because I was on my phone. And because I had that assumption, I almost sort of had, I went on defense straight away, and there was no need for that. The point is, I am on my phone to do my business. And actually, even if I'm not, everybody deserves a bit of recreational time on their phone. Instagram is where I go to play and to enjoy things. Facebook and WhatsApp is purely there for business. I will be honest with you. If I didn't have an Arbonne business or a social marketing business, I wouldn't have Facebook anymore. Apart from as network marketers being really, really positive, Facebook is a pretty dismal place these days. But I love that we can choose who to follow in our Facebook. So I have also really enjoyed my journey because I've been very much in control. Okay, the first year was a little bit dodgy, but the last 2 years I have been very much in control of what I have wanted to do. And I haven't been focusing on what everybody else is doing. So sometimes we can look at the people around us and go, oh my God, she got to district manager in 2 months. That's so unfair. Why can't I do that? And we start to fight with ourselves and really blame ourselves. And then we start to blame outside factors as well. Oh, if only I had a supportive partner, or if only I had a babysitter, if only I had more money. There's so many excuses. But the reality of it is, we've all got different scenarios and everybody faces challenges. The only difference is how you choose to react to them. And so with me, I very much enjoyed my journey. So because I have not gone, Vegas, for instance, I really, really wanted to go to Vegas, but at the same time knew that I wasn't ready to go to Vegas purely because I wasn't ready to leave my children, wasn't ready to, I couldn't afford it. So it would have meant like putting it on a credit card or something like that. And as a mother and a partner, I felt that for me to go would have been almost selfish on my part. Now, for some people, if you know, that I'm not judging anybody that did choose to go and did choose to put it on a credit card, and anybody that left children behind, but I didn't feel pressured into going. I chose not to go, if that makes sense. And so therefore I have enjoyed the journey. This year at Vegas, I kind of wished I'd gone, but at the same time, I chose to go to Boracay in October with my partner, and we had our first child-free holiday. And it was the best thing that we could have done, of just having a week just as a couple. And because I chose that over Vegas, I chose, you know, it didn't affect my journey in Arbonne. I'm not, like, going to Vegas will make you work harder, it will teach you new things, and it will excel your business. But not going is not going to stop me. It's not going to slow me down. So it's one of those things. Yes, if you go, it'll speed you up. But if you don't go, you're not going to slow down or not going to stop. Especially when you're a lifer like me. Like, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm going to be here when I'm 80, doing calls like on whatever technology we have, because I'm sure it's not going to be phones. I don't know. I can't even begin to imagine what it is. We'll probably be like having some kind of teleportation thing, and we'll all be like, let's teleport each other to one room. And I don't know. I don't even want to think about technology in 6 years' time. But I am definitely a lifer. And so I knew that for me, not going while my children were young was a choice that I could make. And I chose not to feel pressured about it. 80 but good, looking good, yeah, definitely. So because I've been making these decisions based on where I am in my life at the moment. Now, for some people, like Daniela, you all know Daniela's story. She needed Arbonne. She needed to make these massive, massive life changes because of where she was at. Whereas my life is more comfortable than it's ever been. I've been in the position where I'm broker than broke, and it wasn't very nice. And I'm not there. So I've never had that urgency of I need to become regional vice president. If you need to run, then by all means run. Danny Wells is definitely your mentor, go for that. But I am definitely not going to inspire you if you're a runner. But if you're somebody that wants to do it and you're a little bit slow, maybe you're not consistent, maybe you are consistently slow, maybe you're not ready to make the sacrifices you need to make in order to become a regional vice president. Maybe that's where you might relate to me. And you will, at some point, become ready. And that is where I'm at now. So I'm really glad that I've done this call now, because we are just making the sacrifices and we are just making the commitments. I'm out at the moment, like most evenings, and the evenings that I'm not out, I'm working my business. My partner, bless him, he's obviously also got his own business. So between us, we're always out and we don't even see each other. But it's fine, because we're building an empire between us, that we are. It will be worth it in the long run. So I've taken my time slowly while my children was young, because that's how I chose to do it. But now I'm ready to go for it. So I'd love to do a call again in a few months when we're a region, because we're going to be a region by the end of the year. So the plan is to go straight through to area and straight through to region. Everybody has a level that they sit at for a very long time. So some people get stuck at district for months. Some people get stuck at area for years. Some people get stuck at region for years. And district is mine, where I've been stuck at for a long time. But I have made the choice to stay there. I've tried, but I've been choosing all of the while to stay as a district. And I will carry on trying, but we're no longer trying to stay a district. We're now trying and will become an area. So it's a very exciting journey, because I know that the changes that we're making as a team is really exciting. My confidence is rising again. So it's all very exciting. So that is a little bit about my story, really. And yes, very, very different to Danny Wells. Very, very much me, very much doing it my way at my pace. So yeah, hopefully I can help out some snails.
Wow, oh my gosh, I've got to say, we have our area call every single Sunday, and we have phenomenal speakers, mainly from within the area training, and it's always a fantastic call. But that's just absolutely blown my mind. I think that was one of the most inspirational, sort of like hair standing on end, goosebump type of calls that I think we've ever had. And because you're so raw and honest, and you're not afraid to say what exactly it is that you're thinking and what exactly happened in your journey, you're so utterly transparent. That's what makes, I think, you so incredible. And it's an Arbonne thing as well. The people that are like us in Arbonne are truly transparent and not afraid to be vulnerable. And I think you were so honest there. That was really, really an incredible call, Emma. You need to be on stage.
One day, someday.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, right. So a couple of questions. Laura Green, did you want to unmute and ask Emma your question?
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Wait, I'll put my video on as well. I was eating soup and it was getting everywhere. Yeah, so Emma, I didn't know, when you said that you picked up the business and everything and you sort of decided you were ready, what were the things that you were like, right, okay, now I'm gonna do it this way? Like, what was the shift and what you physically did differently?
Well, there's been a lot of shifts, I'll be honest with you. A big shift was just once we sort of had a system in place, was very much follow the system that's working. So at one point I was very trying to do my own thing, but the system does work, and what your upline team does work. So following the system, of being in activity, the tracker is incredible. I know you guys use tracker a monthly, don't you? And that was a big shift with me as well, because I think for me, I was spending a lot of time doing Arbonne, but not necessarily the income producing activity.
Yeah.
Since I've started ensuring that I do that, my diary has been full. And that's the other thing as well, full calendar. Donna Johnson always says full calendar. And that's completely true. So for me, it was allowing myself to be out more and to be more my business.
Yeah, definitely. So would you say as well that you were sort of setting more goals and tuning into more kind of Arbonne related things? Because you were saying you choose to read a book over a call? Would you just choose to study
Yeah.
something on?
I now don't miss anything really. So I set about like say 6 months to the side where I just completely focused on personal development, read a lot of books. Now I still read books, but I don't miss. I catch up on all the Go for Gold and all our speaking calls and anything else that I come across really. Danny's calls I catch up on as well. So I just make sure that again that's become a routine. So it's very rare I'll actually be one of Danny's Sunday night calls on a Monday or a Tuesday. So it's like getting a routine. I used to listen to things at the gym on a Monday morning. I don't go to the gym anymore on a Monday, but it's, you know, making sure that I was going to be catching up on them, because it definitely does help. And as well, being involved in the region trainings, you know, going to events, conferences and stuff like that, it has it makes a lot of difference when you're around other consultants.
It gets everyone going.
Fabulous. Thank you for that question, Laura.
It's all right.
Okay, so another one is, how do you, Emma, deal with negativity from friends or family?
Deal with what? Negative?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I first started Arbonne, within a few months, Melton, where I'm from, went a bit Arbonne crazy, and I think everybody that lived in Melton at one point had joined Arbonne, and there were a lot of people that got a bit sick of it, and so I did get a lot of grief and people actually taking the mick out of me, and not being very kind about the fact that I did Arbonne. And to be honest, I have completely removed all emotion attached to things like that. And I think that's down to doing a hell of a lot of personal development. So now I genuinely don't care what people think about me doing network marketing, social marketing, Arbonne. They think I'm doing a crappy lipstick business, whatever. That's what they want to think. What other people think of me is none of my business. So I genuinely don't care. In terms of family, my dad's not, he's not against it. He thinks it's a little bit silly and doesn't really understand it, so I just don't talk about it to him. My mum's supportive. I've got, as a rule, most people are supportive. So other than a few friends I had at the problems with at the beginning, but I will say, once all the sort of commotion died down and a lot of people had quit Arbonne and give it up, and it wasn't so in your face everywhere in our town, I left it a few months and said to my friends, I knew never to approach them about the business again, kind of thing, because it just wasn't going to be worth the hassle. But I did say to them, if you ever want to try the products, or if you want to host a party for me, I'd love that. And so one of them said, oh, actually, yeah, I'll host a party, and got them all together, and now they all buy from me. I think as well, in your first, I don't know where you're at in your business, but in your first few months, people don't take you seriously. They need to know that you're in it for life. Like for me and my friends and family know this is what I do now. So they can't really have any negative feeling about it, because this is my career choice. This is my lifestyle now. Whereas at the beginning, a lot of people might think, oh, she's gone and joined one of those things there. And, you know, they might think that you're going to give it up in a few months. So the thing is to just literally prove them wrong and prove that you are absolutely serious. And if they see your dedication and your seriousness, then they've got no choice other than to take you seriously, to be honest.
Fantastic. And I totally echo that, what Emma said. When I first started, which was a similar time to Emma, nobody that I knew took me seriously. And it wasn't because they didn't think the products were great, because how can you not? You know, they've been clinically proven to be fantastic. And it wasn't that the company wasn't a serious company, because it's been around for 37 years. It was that they didn't take me seriously, and I took it really personally. And actually, I think we all kind of do that when our friends tell us that they're, you know, going to train to be a hairdresser, and we only know them as something totally different. We're a bit like, all right, yeah, great, good for you. We think we'll see how long that lasts. And we're such a negative society, we really are. And for me, my friends, they thought the products were great, they thought the company was great, but they didn't believe that I would still be doing Arbonne in a year's time. So there was no way they wanted to be in my team, because I wasn't going to be there in a year's time. There was no way they wanted me to be selling products to them, because I was not going to be there in a year's time. And the fact that I stuck the cause, like Emma, they eventually started to see that I was actually a lifer. I wasn't one of these that starts one thing, gone tomorrow, starts one thing, gone tomorrow, which I absolutely was before Arbonne. I started loads of businesses, dabbled, and then I was gone tomorrow. So they just thought Arbonne was just another silly little thing of mine. So yeah, if anybody is having that at the minute, and your business is still really new, like maybe you're in your first year, most of the time when people see that you're actually a lifer, that does start to fizzle out. It really does. And that was a great answer, Emma.
No worries.
Okay, so next question. What books do you love? When you first started having that change from thinking, okay, I do not need any personal development, I'm totally good, to actually, let's see how this pans out. You obviously mentioned The Secret, but what else did you enjoy in the beginning?
Okay, so yeah, definitely The Secret was what introduced me to sort of the world of positivity and personal development. It's a close one between The Compound Effect and The Slight Edge. I've never been able to decide which of the two are my favourite, but the concept from both of those really resonated with me, and I've read them. I think I read The Slight Edge first and The Compound Effect straight afterwards, but I don't think it really matters. They're both quite similar, and I definitely recommend reading them both. And I think they really made me realise that it wasn't about, going for it in one go, like we quite often do. It is literally about compounding things day after day after day. It's not about what you do in one day, it's about what you do every day consistently. For example, people that want to lose weight, they'll go on a mad crash diet that is not maintainable. They'll lose a load of weight, but of course, the way they've lost weight, they can't live that lifestyle. So as soon as they go back to normal, they put it all back on again. Whereas if people made small changes to their life, which is exactly what I have done. Some of these guys here, I know Suzanne Wells and Danny, they've said about how much of a change it's been in, but that's not happened overnight, and it's been very much little things all the time, constantly building on top of each other, so that 3 years down the line, I'm literally completely different.
Yeah, you're completely different. I remember when, I am as well, but yeah, just speaking on behalf of Emma at the minute, to Emma, you are such a different person. You can see you've done personal development massively, and you were, like you said, you were fine before, there was nothing wrong with you before, but the fact that you can see that you're more open-minded, you talk differently, you're confident, your energy, you're on a totally different wavelength. And yeah, Suzanne said, just hearing you speak, absolutely incredible. Just before we end the call as well, I just want to say, when Emma said, because I didn't want to interrupt while Emma was in the flow, when Emma said in the beginning we didn't have a bloody clue, we literally did not have a clue. I so echo that. When Emma first started this business, and I tell people this story, I went to her house for a coffee to find out about whatever this new business thing was. She barely said anything to me, and I don't know if Emma remembers it differently or not, because I don't think you've ever told me your version of events, Emma, but my version of events was, you made me a coffee and you sat down and said, so have you ever heard of Arbonne? And I was like, no. And you were like, have you ever heard of network marketing? And I was like, no. And you were like, did you know that there's companies that put toxins in products and we buy them from the shops? And I was like, no. And you were like, right, well, there's this company that does really good products without all the toxins. And then you started drawing out how the network builds, how you recommend it to a handful of people and they recommend it. And I was like, yeah, it sounds great. I was like, yeah. And then I was off, and then I joined up like a week later or something. Is that how you remember it, Emma?
Yeah, but we still didn't know what we were doing today. It was just like, just trying to explain it in random.
Yeah, it sounded like a lot of fun. All I heard was, this is an opportunity to earn money around your kids. And I was like, great. Sounds like a lot of fun. You learn as you go. And I was like, well, that's good, because otherwise I'm not really going to get anywhere. Learn as you go, that's fine. And I trusted Emma as well, and I really trusted Emma's judgment. And although Emma didn't really tell me much, I trusted that she wouldn't get involved with anything that wasn't, credible. She was a credible person, so I totally trusted that. And I just thought, you know, we're going to have a blast. Like, whatever it works, whatever it turns out to be, we're going to have a lot of fun. And that's exactly how it has been. It has been so much fun. And yeah, we didn't really have a clue in the beginning. Like Emma says, we were very much like, oh no, we don't sell products. When people say to me, do you sell products? I was like, no, I don't sell anything. God. And now I'm like, yeah, I sell products. Yeah, what would you like? Like, I'm really proud of the fact that, yeah, it's an online business, and we might not take money off people and deliver catalogs. Yeah, we don't have to do that. It is all clean, it's all online. But I'm really proud of the fact that if someone wants to buy a mascara, I can help them out with that, or whatever it may be. I'm really proud of the fact that, you know, I get to work within this industry, and it's fantastic. And I absolutely love it. I'm grateful every single day that Emma told me about this business, and Emma knows as well as probably the whole of Facebook, I'm quite public about that. I'm so grateful that Emma's my sponsor. I'm grateful that she introduced me, and I wouldn't have any other way. If I was to lose my ID, not that I'm going to, and I'd rejoin Emma again, because she's just been the most incredible sponsor, mentor for me, mainly because she let me do what I needed to do, and she let me figure it out. And that is exactly what I needed when I started this business. I just needed to figure it out, making as many mistakes as possible and not be judged for that. And Emma has always been really supportive of me. Even when I've messed up, she's always been there for me, and you know, you can't thank a sponsor enough for doing that. So I'm really grateful for you every single day, Emma Dickinson.
Oh, I'm grateful for you too, for saying yes.
So before we end the call, did you have final thoughts you wanted to say, Emma? Anything else you want to add to this incredible call?
No, I think rambling on about myself for 45 minutes is quite enough. Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, well, thank you so much, Emma. Were you going to say something?
No.
Thank you, Emma, and thank you everybody for getting on the call. So we've got our team training at 9 p.m. tonight, so 9 o'clock in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to tell you the code for that. So I'm going to write it in the chat and tell you. So it's 337 600 0859. Put it in the chat as well. So 9 o'clock at online team training. That's got everybody on. Everybody will be on that, and we'll do our weekly news, our weekly recognition, any dates, and then the call tonight is with myself and Executive Regional Vice President Sean Hopwood, who is an absolutely total Arbonne celebrity. This guy is immense, incredible guy from Leeds, and he's going to do a great call for us, as well as myself. So I'll see you all at 9 o'clock. Thank you, Emma, and thank you everybody for getting onto the call tonight. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.